Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about my au pair experience in London. So grab yourself a drink and let's begin. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Ison, I'm 21 and I au paired in London for 3 months. Normally I'm studying in Scotland and it was just my summer break, so I was like, why not try something completely new? And because of the COVID pandemic, I thought it would be more convenient to stay in the UK, just in case something happens. So I have the NHS, which is the health system there. If something happens, I can go back to my flat in Stirling, Scotland, and that is what I did. And it was an amazing experience. I was with a British Pakistani family, and they still have 3 children. One is, I think, 5 months old now. The other one is 4 and the other one is 8. And it was amazing to be with them, just because it was a complete culture clash. Not culture clash, but a very colorful culture experience. I mean, their families are Pakistani, then they have their British heritage, and I'm from Germany, my parents are Turkish. So it was a mix of everything, and it has been very nice to work with them. Au pair is such an intimate experience if you make it like that. So when you are with that family, you really become family with that whole environment. You participate in their family gatherings, you help even when you're not working. You help around because you actually care about them. And that is also a difficulty of the work, I would say, that you can never really clock off. You could, but I don't think that that's what au pair is about. You could clock off and just leave when your work times are done, but when you actually care about these people and you see people running around and the baby is crying and one of the children is not in bed yet, you can't just leave. So that is one difficulty, I would say. And it's very interesting to work with the children, because I've always struggled with putting on boundaries and saying no. And with children, you just train that muscle over and over and over again, just because it's so important that they respect you and see you as an authority figure, as well as a friend and as a big sister. So that is crucial, I would say, telling the children which boundaries you have and not letting them overstep them. So you can train that for the rest of your life, pretty much. One difficulty for me as well was that I have many hobbies and that I love my schedule and my routine. My routine obviously got a little bit out of hand with me moving somewhere else and then having work hours. Like in the morning I would prepare the children for school, then I would have, like, I don't know how many hours, maybe like 4 or 5, I don't know, in between where the children were at school, and then I would work again until like 7 or 8. So I had to work around that, and I woke up in the mornings trying to get my stuff done, working on my own projects besides working. And doing all of that simultaneously was very nice, but exhausting as well. And I noticed that when I got sick, that I was maybe doing a bit too much. And also, I was there for 3 months, so having a social life is something that you're working on with other au pair groups and stuff. I can really commend that, being on the internet, being connected with other au pairs. That was very nice. The thing is, many au pairs are in the mindset of, okay, let's just meet up because we don't have anyone else. I hope that doesn't sound bad or like too judgy, but that's what it is. So sometimes people are not out there to actually connect and make friends, but sometimes they just want to hang around someone because they don't want to be lonely. And the thing with me is I can travel alone. I really enjoy traveling alone. So most of the time I would just be in London by myself, very therapeutic by the way, doing just what I want to do. And if someone happens to be around, or if I make plans at the end with another au pair or like another person, that would be fine, but just being on my own would be fine as well. And I feel like when people outside are like, oh, have you been able to make friends and stuff? Obviously it's important to connect with people, but like this perception that you can't be on your own and that you can't enjoy that time as well, just as well as with being with other people, is a bit sad, maybe. I would say that I had a great time connecting with people, especially because I started another hobby as well there, so I was able to make friends through that. And I would say just maybe join something like a society or a hobby if you really want to connect with other people and make friends, and then try to find like-minded au pairs that have the same interests as you have, or like would like to see this, would like to do that, would like to go out. Everyone is different, so some people are more the museum type, other people are more the let's go out on Saturday nights type, so some people are both. So just try to find your clique. And I would also say don't stick around your land mates, if you can say that, your fellow country mates too much, because you're there to learn another language, right? To just mix in. I had the option of being with a Turkish family in London, and I was talking to my mom about it, and I was very thinking about it. I was like, oh, they seem very nice and stuff. And my mom was like, hey, you know how it is in a Turkish family. When you go to a different country, you should experience that culture. You should experience something completely new. And I think that is very good advice. Also, when you have children around constantly, it's very important to focus on yourself, center yourself, have just a check-in, like every week at least, with yourself, if you're on the right track, if things are like you wanted. And if you have a problem with your au pair family, just talk to them first. I think many people have a problem communicating, and then everything bottles up, and at the end they're so resentful that everyone just doesn't want to do it anymore, either of the parties. And that is disheartening to see, because you could have avoided that if you just would have spoke up about it. And if you speak up about it and nothing happens, then you know maybe it's the wrong family, and that is completely fine. I think when you go into au pair, you should have the confidence and the backup money, by the way, to be like, okay, deuces, I don't like this, this is toxic, I don't want this. To just be able to afford a hotel or a flight back, just for like one night and one flight back. You should be able to secure yourself and have that confidence of being able to leave if you have to for your mental health, or if you want to for your mental health. And I would say always have that in mind. Always be secure. Only go to a family that makes you feel comfortable and makes you feel wanted and open towards new things. My au pair family was very welcoming and accepted every quirk that I had. And there are families that are not like that, and that is okay as well. It can just be a work experience. Not every employer has to accept and love every quirk that I have. But with au pair, it's so nice to just be yourself and being a big family instead of just being employer and employee, if that makes sense. Let's be honest, it's also just a convenient job. you get a pay and you don't have to worry about groceries or where you stay and stuff. It is nice to travel, to see the world, and it is actually an amazing experience. But as convenient as it sounds, if you're constantly working where you live, it can be exhausting if you're not with the right people. So I would say just don't go for the convenient thing because it's important. Make sure that you check in with yourself, that you actually like it, that you also like children. I think some people that go into this job don't like children and then in the middle they just know it and then they realize it and then it's problematic. So make sure you have these things in mind. It is also vital to respect the boundaries of the children, because just because they're children doesn't mean that they are not their own person. Characters and personalities develop very early on, and you can see that. And children have things, maybe it seems irrational to you, but some little things are important to them, and if you don't listen to them, it can be very exhausting and they don't feel heard, and that is sad. So just make sure that you listen to the children, that you take them seriously as well, and don't just brush them over because they're children, because they still have the right to feel heard, and I think that's important. You don't have to do this, you can just spend your weekends off and out and all of that. But what helped me a lot was to spend some free time with the family as well, to watch a movie in the evening, or to be there when they have a family gathering, to be an active part of the family. I think people like that, and I think it's very nice to get to know the whole family and to be with them even when you're not working. I know you're also there to experience the culture and to travel and all of that. I think that's great for families, that you can show an actual interest in them and not just see them as a commodity. So yeah, that's nice. Also be clear with your no-goes, be open about them. Just say what type of person you are. If you, I don't know, if you don't like oranges, don't say I like oranges just to be convenient or whatever. Just don't swallow down stuff just because it's nicer or you seem nicer, because that's not you. And respect the boundaries of the family as well. If they're, I don't know, my au pair mom, for example, is way cleaner than I am, or that's important to her, that people are tidy and stuff. And I would never want her to feel like I don't respect that boundary. So, you know, you just participate in that. And I think that is important to have a smooth live together. And I think one of the key questions is just, what do you want? What do you want out of this experience? Do you just want to travel and be convenient? That's okay, like people need workers. Do you actually want to mix with the family and make connections for forever? Then maybe you have to invest a bit more time and sacrifice some of your alone time, or, you know, it's just, what do you want out of this experience? And depending on that, you will attract another family, and you will probably also select another family. I had a lot of interviews before I chose this family, just because I'm very particular about where I live, and if I want to live somewhere and work there, I have to feel very comfortable, and that is just the person that I am, and that's why I had so many interviews and selected this family at the end, because I just felt like it was the right thing to do. So if it's very important for you where you live and stuff as well, then make sure that you have a few options open, or don't settle for the first family, or just gain a bit of experience. I would say you know, these montages of failed castings in like 2000s movies. I would say I had that experience. There were some very weird families and amazing families as well. So at the end I had like 5 families that were very great, and I was like, oh god, which one am I selecting? And I had the one that I actually went to, and then another one where I was like, okay, I would really love to go to both. But you can't have everything in life, so just make sure that you know what you want. And when you have the interview, just be yourself, be open. People will eventually notice who you are, so, you know, be open about your goals, what you want. If you want to do something besides that, like if you want to work, or if you want to have a language course, or like, you know, some people just want to do it to have an abroad experience and learn English. That was not my goal, but it could be your goal. So yeah, be clear about that. I am sorry for the weird lighting. So what can you do? Thanks for watching. I hope this helped someone, and see you in the next one.